Today we're going to talk about accurate decision-making process as well as learn how to start and how to realize SMART goals, how to set them, and we will also discuss in time and accurate realization of tasks. Let's start with understanding of what decision making is. Decision making is the process of making choices by identifying a decision, gathering information, and assessing alternative resolutions. So, when you're making a decision, you have to make choice. You have some kind of problem, and the main thing which you need to do is to identify the solution for that problem. This solution will be considered your decision for the problem. Decision making process, together with other different processes, consists of several steps. Actually, there are seven of them, so let's look at them. In step one, you need to identify your problem. You need to identify the problem or the question which you need to understand, which you need to solve. The main point here is to clearly define your decision. You start with gathering your ideas. So, this is something like a brainstorming activity. A similar process is it undergoes when you're writing an essay. So then you just brainstorm, collect all the ideas, collect all the possible solutions. Doesn't really matter whether they are good or bad, suitable or not, effective or not. We are just collecting all the ideas which we may use in order to solve the problem. Another thing which needs to be taken into consideration is making it measurable and timely. So that means you need to be able to evaluate and assess how much time will it take for you to decide to make a decision to deal with the problem. How much time do you need? Is it a serious problem or not? So on your step one, this is the preparation process. Step two, you need to gather the relevant information. There are two types of information, internal and external. While you're gathering the internal information, you are seeking for it through a process of self assessment. You did a self assessment of your previous work, you have identified your problems, you have identified your weaknesses. So, for example, if your task is to write an essay, and throughout the process of self assessment, you have identified that your problem is the structure of essay. That means you gather all the relevant information. You have gathered all the relevant information, and before writing that essay, which you need right now, you have to deal with some kind of materials and problems which help you to develop your paragraph structurizing. External information is gathered online in books from other people and from many other sources. All in all, not from you, but from anything which is around you. So you gather the information relevant for your essays. In your step three, you need to then identify the alternatives. As you collect information, you'll probably identify several possible passes or of action or several alternatives. You can also use your imagination and additional information to construct new alternatives. In this step, you will list all possible and desirable alternatives. So if you look at this man, he has four ways to go. You need to do the same thing. You should have at least two possible solutions for your problems, just in case one of them won't work, and you will have to come back again so that you're able to choose another path without going through the process of brainstorming again. So always have alternatives just in case your solution won't work properly. Step 4, weighing the evidence. You place the alternatives in a priority order based upon your own value system. You choose which solution to take. That one which leads to 100% realization of the task but requires a lot of time, or maybe that one which will be shorter, less time consuming, but also will help you to complete your task for 90%, for example. So you value on your own what is more important for you, your time, which has to be saved, or your mark at the end, which has to be perfect or not. Step 5, choose among alternatives. Once you have weighed all the evidence, you are ready to select the alternative that seems to be best one for you. You may even choose a combination of alternatives. Your choice in step 5 may very likely be the same or similar to the alternative you placed on the top of your list at the end of step 4. So you identified the step which you're going to take first. You identified the solution which you will be trying to implement first because it seems to be the right for you. In step 6, you take the action. As it's seen on the picture, you press the button. You're now ready to take some positive action by beginning to implement the alternatives you chose in step 5. So you're starting the process of realization of your action. Finally, in your step 7, you review your decision and review its consequences. You need to consider the result of the decision. Was it successful or it wasn't? Also, you need to evaluate whether or not it has resolved the need you identified in step 1. Remember, you had a problem in step 1? Did this solution which you have taken dealt with that problem or not? If the answer is no, then you need to repeat certain steps of the process to make a new decision. If the answer is yes, if the solution was successful and was able to deal with all your problems, then that's fine. Then it means you was successful and you have to stop here. Your decision making process was nice. Next one. This is a time management game. Please put the pause and give yourself some time to count the dots and measure the time you spent on that. Now take the same thing, count the dots here, and also measure the time which was needed to count that things. So we understood that in order to count the dots on the first slide, we had to spend much more time, and on slide number 2, much less time. What it tells us? It tells us that management and systematization are the main things when we are saving time. When we have a special system like here on slide 2, we are really able to save time. We spend 5 times less minutes, less seconds to do the same task just because here the dots are systemized and here they are just in random order. This thing is called dot theory and it illustrates the importance of time management in your life, in your study, and in your work. So, what time management is? Time management is the process of organizing and planning how to divide your time between specific activities. This is the way when you identify how much time should be spent on which activity, as well as which activity must be done first. All in all, this is a wise process of dividing your time accurately so that you have more free time. Why to manage your time? Why is it really important? Just because it helps you to have greater productivity and efficiency. Remember the dots? If you spend 5 times less time on some task, that means you will have more time for rest, for self development, for any other tasks. Next one is a better professional reputation. The people, the workers, employees who do not expires deadlines are valued more by the employers. Always, when you do tasks on time, when you complete them in time, you are how to say, you're a better person in front of your boss. Less stress it is because you have a special plan. You know which step will come after which. That means you're able to identify which step is next. And stress is always such kind of emotional feeling and state of our mind, which happens just because we don't know what's going to happen next, because everything is new. That's why we become nervous and stressful. And if we know the exact precise plan, then there is less chances of stress in our life. Next one, it increases the opportunity for advancement. Again, you spend less time on several tasks, you have more free time left for your personal individual development. The last thing why the last reason why you should manage your time is greater opportunities to achieve important life and career goals. The less time you spend on several tasks, the more opportunities there will be for you to do something more. That means your life goals will be achieved faster and easier. The one thing which helps you to be more successful while managing your time is a time management matrix. This person, this is the Dwight Eisenhower. He is the 34th president of the United States of America. He created a special technique which helps us to save our time. He once said, we should devote attention and time to our activities in accordance with their importance and urgency. That's why he produced a special scale in which he divided all the activities into special categories based on their urgency and their importance. So in quadrant one, we have urgent and important goals. In the second one, not urgent but important. In the third one, urgent and important. And finally, fourth one, not urgent and not important. Let's try to discuss which tasks should be in which quadrant. So quadrant one, urgent and important tasks. So if you look at the picture, you can see a person whose house is on fire. He has to deal with this problem right now, and it is extremely important, or he will have no place to live. This kind of tasks can be included into this quadrant. So these activities are tasks that need immediate attention and action. For example, a family emergency due to an accident or an upcoming hard and fast deadline. Often these situations are unexpected but must be dealt with right now because on that things everything depends. In quadrant two, we have not urgent but important things. So, for example, on this picture, you see the graph of the person and his overall health. And this is the dot where he understood that he may eat bacon whenever he wanted, and his health started declining very fast. So, why this picture is here? Just because taking care of your health is one of the things which are not urgent but important. Like you may deal with your health, you may take care of your health whenever you want. It is not really important to do it right now, but it is really important because without taking care of your health, you will have to spend much more money on doctors, not saying that uh, you will live less time. Other examples are exercising, pitching new clients if you're working, revising your resume, and maintaining a relationship with friends and family through social activities and interaction. So, this is something which shouldn't be done right here, right now, but really important for your further development. Quadrant 3, urgent but not important. Let's look at the joke. A person is asking, are you coming to bed? The one answers, I can, this is important. What? Someone is wrong on the internet. So this person is proving someone that this one is wrong, that he has a wrong opinion in the internet. So if you do it 2 days later, it will lose its importance. So that's why it's urgent. Well, but why it's not important? Because it doesn't help you to develop somehow. These tasks typically involve another person who didn't plan their time appropriately and is now asking you to deliver on an emergency basis. Some examples include an email, text message, or phone call that requires an immediate response before it loses all or most of its value. This might be someone asking you if they should grab lunch for you while they are out. So, all in all, the tasks which are not really important for achieving your main goal, nevertheless, they are urgent ones. And finally, the last one is not urgent and not important. So you can see the picture when the person draw an elephant and a rhino, and he asks, "What do you get when you cross an elephant and a rhino?" And the answer is, "I haven't a goddamn clue." So he drew this picture. Was it important for him? No. Was it some kind of outcome? No. Was it urgent? No. So it is absolutely time wasting activities. Other activities here include surfing in the internet, social media scrolling, and TV binge watching. These mindless activities should never distract you from important tasks, and often it's better if this eliminated entirely. So you need to try to deal with that things. So how to prioritize your tasks? Quadrant one, urgent and important. This task needs to be done now. Due is soon. It helps you to achieve your long-term goals, and they are in your specialty. So they help you to achieve your further goal. So, for example, if your specialty is The English language, doing something concerning English, such as deadlines and so on, according to studies, then you should put your goals in the first quadrant and deal with them ASAP. Not urgent but important. You need to schedule them on calendar. Due is later. It is not as soon as on the first one. However, these tasks achieve you to your help you to achieve your long-term goals and ease in your specialty. So you need to schedule them. You need to put them in the calendar and deal with them a little bit later. Not important but urgent. You need to delegate, automate, or decline them. Delegating means asking someone to deal with them. Automation means doing this process somehow automatically without extra effort needed. And finally, declining means not doing this task at all because it is not important, however urgent. Finally, the last, not urgent and not important, the main point is declining, but you also may delegate them or automate them. But declining may seem the best option because due of these tasks are later, they doesn't help you to achieve your long term goal, and someone else could do it for you and or instead of you. So finally, this was everything which I wanted to tell you about today's lesson. Please be able to manage your time effectively, use Eisenhower's matrix, and state smart goals when you're doing something. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.